All right, and welcome back to the Talking Tactical podcast. We are joined by Phoenix, myself, Nero Wulf to my right, as I look at the screen and it's my left because that always fucks me up. So, actually, you're pointing the right way. Congratulations. You got that one right for once.
No, it's not that I got it right. Is that you've been keeping consistent with your directions for a change?
I know. I made a set and we actually kept it. That's a miracle. So it's only the two of us tonight, but we have a fun episode to talk about. Of course, we had to run off to the grocery store, get some two-ply.
What is this wee nonsense? I wasn't with you. Oh, yeah. So I'm so upset about this. We don't even have two-ply. We joked with the April Fool's Day with the TTP. I've been sitting on that one since I got on this podcast with him. Like, I think it was like a day after he was like, "You want to be my co-host?" I'm like, "Oh my god!"
October is when you came up.
No, it was way back. It was back in July. No, I started pushing it in October because I realized we landed on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I know. I plan things very far in advance. Anyways, no, my wife we were at the grocery store and we normally get like the super nice Cottonelle, really, really fluffy stuff. And she decided that she was going to be a little frugal. And she got these less than one ply basic brand where you have to use 4 times as much. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. It happened to pop up today, along with the talking toilet paper,
the toilet paper podcast discussion for.
Really haven't started drinking enough yet.
I know, right? So, this evening I have some Boschken. So this is actually a one that's up over by like Halliburton side, and it's handwritten label. That's how what's the word I'm looking for here? That's how low cast homebrew I went this week. And then I also have some Blairhampton NE IPA. So, precise planning. Yeah, precise planning is not how that works normally.
Why the fuck isn't my shite working? I can't bring the comments up for myself today.
Okay, just Phil and Jay. Jay saying good day, guys. Good day.
Hey, hi Jay. What's up, hombre?
So,
thank you, Phil, for your reaction. I can see that nonsense, but I can't see. Oh, hold on. I hit the right button, and then Phil. Oh, god damn you! Let's not start this nonsense again. Fixed it. Yes. Good day, all. Great. How's everyone? Hi, Phil. We're great, Phil. Thank you very much. Precise planning. What did we plan? I'm confused. Sorry, guys.
April Fool's thing was precise planning.
It wasn't like it happened to be something that popped into my head a long time ago, and I told him about it as soon as I thought of it, and then it was perfect. Fucking fantastic. Tonight I'm drinking Norse Golden Ale. I don't know where the hell this is brewed. It says Canada. So Perry Sound. Oh, Perry Sound. Fantastic. Golden Ale. I don't know. I forget what it tastes like. So,
this will be more interesting then. So, before we get too far into it, because we do have a show, I do want to do a quick little show off because we do have our TTP code at the patch panel. So, use code TTP for 15% off your purchase. That is good for anything on there. But there is a version 3 of one of my favorite patches that came out. So, I wanted to show off.
How many are left?
They're sold out. Well sold out.
Oh, well, then why would you even mention it?
Because I want to show how cool the patches are. You can get there.
Did you go and pick yours up? Like you couldn't wait?
No, I waited in the mail. They came quickly.
Almost a full.
But yeah, so the original one.
I think that's how we're going to measure my drinks from now on, is in how many boots have I drank that night.
Nice.
It's not quite a full boot.
Version 1 to version 2. I'm going to mute you for a second. But I'm not actually. But they're actually very similar. They just went for different... there we go. Same seal, different fabrics on them and colors. But the version 3... Which is
unfortunately, I don't get to see what he's showing you guys because he's got two different cameras and one of them's angled slightly different, so I don't get to see what you guys see.
So the newest one is in English, but they actually changed the seal on it. So I didn't notice it until later. So kind of cool to see that they are changing them up a bit. So I just wanted to show those off. Mention that there is the code there for those that are listening. You can.
I'm sorry for the mouth noises, guys.
But you can see it online as well too. But so head over to Patch Panel, use the offer code TTP. You can get anything there on the purchase and either custom stuff, because I know I've got all my name tags and stuff from there as well too.
And if you guys have any cool shit you want us to see, you do hashtag. I think it's
TT podcast.
TT podcast, and it nobody else uses that one. So if you guys want to see anything on Instagram or Twitter, what have you, you can always hit us up on the Twitter. I don't remember what it is. I think it's just at Talking Tactical Podcast. Yeah. Blah blah blah.
At Talking Tactical.
Sidetrack. Hi Dwayne. Laugh away, but you will laugh away. Carry on.
So so those were the cool patches that I got this week. Nothing else exciting. Oh, I take that back. There was actually something exciting. I got my new vest, which of course is actually hidden away. But it's the new Shadow Syndicate one that Ripple has, the lightweight one, the mock version of yours.
Ooh. Yes.
The only thing I will warn people about,
who are mock version, my ass. Yours has a much nicer side straps. They went with mine's all frayed. They didn't use a hot enough laser when they cut the material.
But the only thing I will say is that if you're using milsig mags, and I'm pretty sure the T15s will be the same, you can't fit 3 in there.
T15s fit like a charm.
Okay, well, milsigs are too big.
I know. I have to switch rigs whenever I use my M5. I was going to talk about that today, but you jumped the ball. I wish you told me. You totally curveballed me there.
We're just talking
blindsided me, so to speak. Right out of left field, something I was sitting on there. Go ahead.
That being said, though, is you can use the molly in the front. So I know you run, I think 2, and then you have like a extra pouch in the middle.
I run the 3 across the front, and then I run a double stack in front of that. So I run 5 and 1 in the mag, or 1 in the rifle. So I run 6 at a time.
Yeah. So So
and
just
then
something
with my milsig, I run 7. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, just something to bring up, because I know there's a lot of people that have been looking at it, is that it is that little bit too compact. Yeah. And it won't stretch out
M5
enough.
and TMC friendly, not so much milsig, unfortunately.
And I would say Didam as well.
Yeah, Yep, that's that one. Oh no, Didams are about as thick as the milsig mags.
Yeah, they're just about.
Yeah. Which means hammer mags will work. Use your hammer mags. But that's not what we were going to talk about today at all.
No, it wasn't. It was just where we're sidetracking while we're also getting our beers going, because
way up.
When we make a plan and plan far ahead, we still take detours.
To the right, but stronger green patch. I don't get it, but
the rotational patches. There's the one that says hoppers are for green.
Oh, see, the show's not updating for some reason. Pause. There we go. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, and then it's on Wolf's Den. Haha.
There we go. Actually, I do like his new patch. He got a new one. His and Dread Cams. I like theirs.
Oh yeah, Dread Cams is really cool. I like that. And the Deadpool one's up. Love it. It was up probably a second ago or two, but I've got most of my love. I don't know. I got all these back up. I put up all my favorite tier 1 patches back up because they were up for our show with Jeff. Shout out to Mr. Pentland, who listens to the show in podcast form, not so much with the watching. Once in a while, he pops in the comments there, and
he's got
all the time. He slides in the DMs.
I say,
why didn't you talk about this?
he's got a road job, so he always listens to this stuff on the audio. But yeah.
All right. So first thing I want to talk about is I've known about this for a while because I worked. Back in actually public school, I did I worked in the AV club, and I was always the camera guy. Baby Groot, my wife loves Baby Groot. You learned what a dead cat was. Today.
Yes.
Which was funny because you're like, dude, this is so funny. Check this out.
No, it was just that they called it the dead cat. I was like, I know it as like a windbreaker and muffler.
Yeah.
But
windshield
not as a dead cat.
What is it? A fur shield.
Yeah, fur shield.
Something like that. Whatever, but yeah, no, dead cat. It's just a wind muffle.
Yep, it's the fuzzy that goes on the microphone of everyone who you see at the paintball field that decided to go for vlogs now, because I've seen like 4 of those pop up this year.
Really, people are doing vlogs from the paintball field?
Oh, for sure. So in the speed, like
I gotta get out more.
Bit of a shout out is like for the speedball. There's Ronnie Dizon, who plays like the speedball stuff. His is actually interesting. He does like a good mix up. There's a guy Trevor.
His name Ronnie Dijon, like
Dizon.
Mustard. Dizon.
Dizon.
Desian.
Dizon. They pronounce it Dizon. Anyways, then there's Trevor Reeser.
An eye in there. I'm retarded.
Trevor Reeser, who's on the Ironman, but he's the guy who, if you remember, about a year ago, in the tournament scene, got shot point blank in the eye.
In the actual eye or in the glass?
Right here. No. So what it was is there was guys at the wall.
What it was?
They both ran.
What
collided,
happened was,
and then the other guys gun came up and shot him under the mask, because when they collided, his mask lifted up because they didn't have a chin strap. So now in Speedball, they require chin straps because of that. But he does a vlog, and then Nightmare started one.
That's phenomenal. That ties into our talk about safety today too, but we'll get into that later. You should have sat onto that joke for when we actually started talking about today's topics.
Well, you brought up the dead cat, so
touche. That was one of today's topics. That was something I had to. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, gotcha. So you're segueing in today's. So we're gonna talk about fair play, safe play, and regular safety and stuff like that. So that was actually needles. Yeah, none of that. Oh, it's so gross. We'll talk about that in a bit. But anybody who hasn't, if you want to bring it up on the Wikipedia so you know what we're talking about or what have you, on your Google's machines, we watched. We're not going to actually just talk about this movie the whole time. Otherwise, we would call this talking tactical movies. But it's not as a documentary, so we're just talking about it because it talks about sports and cheating everywhere. Icarus by Dan Fogel or David Fogel, Ryan Fogel. See. I don't do my research, but it's about a Russian, the RUSADA, Russian anti-doping.
So what it is that this guy set out to do a show, or an episode on doping. Like he's like, I'm in these competitive races, I want to get into doping. But
it started off as a documentary of help me be the best, and then it turned into, oh God, now you're being indicted for doping. So
super interesting. It comes down to the Russian doping ring that was going on there. It's behind the scenes, and it's an evolution story. So amazing. Shout out to Nate in the comments there. Nero told me that I had to watch it, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll watch it. And amazing 2 hours. I watched it on the train. I had to cram it in at home to make sure I got it watched as quickly as I can. So that's where we are going into that, is that, so I don't think, let's talk about this to begin with, doping in paintball, because someone just showed up in the comments there.
I don't think we have that. If we did, I'd be fucking pissed.
I think it's that we don't have doping in paintball. I think we have dopers in paintball. So you have the guys who are going to the gym, working hard, they're using it there. Maybe there's some other extracurricular things that you see.
Maybe not doping, but steroids maybe for personal working out and shit. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who go to the gym and do that on their own, but there's also different things that are not considered doping. But doping in this case doesn't mean steroids. Doping generally in the racing world is a mixture of GHB and basically your own red blood cells. Yeah. After being in a maturation chamber or just awkward. I could never sit inside of a pressurized tank for long periods of time.
Yeah, so
weird.
It is interesting because I have definitely seen
tanks. Those things freak me out. I don't think I'd ever try that.
Yeah, I've seen hot temper and I've seen roid rage on the field though.
Oh, I've seen. Oh man, well, there's roid rage, and everybody thought that I had roid rage once in a while. I got really big a while ago, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, total roid rage." But it's not a matter of roid rage. Safety is always my number one concern, and when people are being unsafe and unfair at the same time, I get really mad.
Yeah.
And when my teammates shoot me in the back, shout out to George, who always makes fun of me for that. There's always a meme that pops up once in a while on the Facebook feed.
Well, that's what happens when you run out in front. People are gonna try and get you.
Every time. Hi, Dave Reed. Or hi, James. Hi, Dave.
So actually, that's cool. Raza and Dave drove out for Jester's Day. That was today over in the East Coast.
Happy Jester's Day, whatever that was.
April 1st. It's an event.
I know.
It's they do the event out east. Ask the Empire.
No, it's the Jedis. The Jedis are the ones who got mad rage at the droids.
Droid rage. Okay, fair enough. I was thinking roid rage though, and I was thinking
he's drawing in my shirt there.
I was thinking of Kylo Ren when he first said that though. For throwing
I guess he's right because clones. But technically, they were both puppets for the Empire. So
puppets for Sidious, not the Empire.
The Emperor. They're both puppets for the Emperor. Emperor. So. Sorry.
So we managed to get off topic 5 times in this show, and we're only been live for what?
So
10
Icarus.
Minutes? Yeah, so Icarus.
Great little
and you know what
story about Grigory Rodchenkov.
Yes.
And his getting caught and then subsequently getting pushed under the bus and then called, man, so Russian propaganda. You want to talk about living in a police state?
Yeah.
They pushed him under the bus. They called him schizophrenic. They said that like his family was interrogated, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Could you imagine living in that kind of a unfree country?
Oh, it'd be
where you don't have the freedom of speech.
But what I thought was so interesting though was like that's something you have to really take into mind of like it's Russia, and then his comments during it though, I was like, how could he go so long with he's supposed to fight it, but then he's also like the best one at it, and it was just one of those ones as he said like his conscience was killing him, and he's like, I'm going to come clean, and it was really interesting. And what was the book they kept referencing? Because it was banned in Russia forever.
I don't remember.
It's a classic. It's a classical sci-fi.
1984.
1984. Yes.
George Orwell's 1984. I actually read that because one of my coworkers. Sidetrack. For the longest time at work, it was one of the combinations to the propane tanks at work, and because one of the people was like, "Oh, it's clever, 1984," but just underneath of 1984 is 0873, which is the number of the union I work for, the IATSE 873, which is just a funny coinky dink and or conspiracy. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, Nate's thing, Russians made the drugs, the Americans just used them more. Actually, the Chinese made the drugs for the longest time, and then the Russians were like, there's a bunch of bad stuff.
It. The Russians perfected getting away with it. Like, did you hear what they did? Did you read it?
Oh, it's super interesting. It was cool. Like I said, like it was just so, I don't know, like I didn't follow it that much when it first came out, so to like know generally what had happened and then see it more. Tones
of my voice are vibrating the shit in your room. I've got kind of a sore throat, so I don't have the higher octaves today.
That might be.
My bad. Is that better?
I'll turn you down a little bit then.
Oh, I could do no, it's all good. I could do I have a voice that I like to use to upset my wife, but it sounds just like your son, so I'll keep it to myself.
My 4-year-old son who hasn't hit any kind of maturity yet.
No, I get away with. I don't get away with anything. As soon as that voice starts, like another switch in her head goes off, and she's like, "I'm not listening to anything he says. Fuck you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up." Stop using
Which is
that
hilarious because when we had dinner the other day as couples, it was like the amount of times that you two like just tone each other out was just amazing.
Well, no, because we
don't talk over each other.
We talk to each other.
Chrono Station, Nate. That's my safe space.
Yeah, safe space. Safe space. We're not going to talk about that. VHS player, VHC player. Damn, that's old school.
All right. So, anyways, so safety. So like the
chin straps. That's fucked. Yeah, that needs to be done.
So, okay, that's actually a good question then. So, do you think chin straps are mandatory? Like, should be mandatory?
Player. Jesus. Pardon me?
Do you think chin straps should be mandatory for scenario paintball?
No. Not. I've never had that. The only time I've ever got shot in the mask or the yes, no, mostly no. I don't know. It depends on the scenario. It depends on the game.
So I think everyone, like I agree with how it works right now. Every mask shows up with a paintball strap and you have to take it off. Like that's the right way because that new player, like one thing is like renter masks. Yeah, it should because then they can't lift it as easy. Like you might like lift it and then catch yourself. But for the experienced guy, like, am I going to wear a chin strap? No, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to. Like I should, but I'm not going to.
I wore one for the longest time, but it would always give me... This only comes up because Nate brought it up, but because of the beard and everything, I get like really bad ingrown hairs.
Yeah,
because I'd wear it all the time because I'd be reffing, and this hot sweatiness plus the beard, plus that strap pressed right against your hair, I'd get these gnarly, big, white, gross ingrown hair. Oh, anyways, no, okay. Blah. It was gross, and I wash my face all the time, so it's not a matter of cleanliness. I wash and oil my beard, but it was so gross because it just for 8 to 10 hours a day.
And that's the thing is that like. Are they a good safety feature? Yes. Are we going to use them though? No. It's kind of like one of those jokes, like riding a cycle, like cycling around.
No. Don't. You can't equate a chin strap to a helmet. That's like it's like if you want to bike with your helmet chin strap on or off.
That's not where I was going with it.
Okay. Well, no, it's the same idea. If you want to go biking with your chin strap on or off, it's just as fucking useful. Because if something is going to take off your helmet, it's going to take off your mask. So
that's where I was going to go with it. Was.
Dude, David Reed, you have an iPhone and Buddy's Wi-Fi password? Hop on your fucking phone and message for yourself, bro. Now you're derailing us by making me have to talk to you through Mr. Raza.
which I was very jealous of their photos. And
sorry for those of you sitting at home in the home game, listening to us, not watching.
So here's the next question then: the masculine safety feature, jockstrap, towel, or oh fuck,
towel is pretty much it. What do you dump pouch? Some people use dump
pouch. Thank you. Which kills me because if you have a dump pouch there and you land or trip and you get all of that in the junk, that's gonna hurt more than paintball. Like, that's just my opinion. So,
well, I do. I have a folded up sniper veil. So
okay,
and I do free ball. I try to do my best to wear the loosest underwear I can for paintball days because those tight ones, they do nothing. They're like
really, that's hilarious. Compression shorts every time.
And
I swear by compression shorts.
Wedgies, especially like, oh man, when my thighs rub together from being crouched for so long.
No. So I'm not talking about tight underwear
rash
and boxers. Like compression shorts can't get up and in there.
Commando, or who else called it? Somebody else called it the army style.
We're getting a free ball in the comments.
I know. Amy's she's all about the balls.
Raz's comment was who wears underwear, and those that don't want sweat dripping down the back of their leg and feeling that nastiness.
Baby powder. Baby powder. Baby powder. Have you ever heard of baby powder?
Oh, dude, I have the giant thing in my bag. I have like 3 of them in my bags. I went to Wasago once. I didn't use baby powder, and I was bleeding so badly after a day of paintball that I took the next day off work. Not because I was too sore, like head or anything like that. It was bleeding. I was off
Gold
the
Bond.
field
No, don't use
for
Gold
2
Bond.
hours.
It's uncomfortable. My wife's like, "What are you talking about?" As she walks by, giving me the evil eye. I'm sure it's not going to pop up yet because you'll be gone in the time. But I'm pretty sure Amy's going to say, "Hi, Sam," and "Hi, Amy." Preemptive.
Did we just become best friends?
Oh, that was so funny. They totally did. Amy talks to my wife all the time. We talked about it on the last podcast. My wife and his wife became best friends almost instantly.
Man leggings.
Man leggings. I have
legging.
So I have a set of compression. It's like a base layer for wintertime.
Like long johns?
They're man leggings. They're man leggings. They're made of the same material as leggings. She's my wife. See, preemptive.
Google is happening right now.
Yeah. I don't know what they're actually called. They're not. I don't call them man leggings. They're called. They're just like they're spandex cotton.
Oh, they're just compression pants.
Underoos. They're underoos. They're compression underoos. Anyways, I have a pair that I wear.
Scary. Don't Google image that, kids. Don't Google image that. What we just talked about it got scary. The first 4 images were safe, and then they weren't safe anymore. This is like when I play Cards Against Humanity with my wife, and she always forgot what bukkake was, and I was like, "Oh, let me Google image that for you."
Okay, I hate that we're so far off topic, but the one card in that game that I am the only one who understands what it means is pooping back and forth forever. Nobody ever knows what that means.
We're talking about like the centipede? No, because that wouldn't be a universal.
No. So it was this little YouTube short way back, like old school. You have to be old school internet kid, which I was. And it's this it's about this kid trolling this old woman on a dating website, trying to get her to meet up. And his thing that he says to think of that like the dirtiest, raunchiest, gross thing to try to get rid of her is to poop back at sexually, is to poop in from his butt to her butt back and forth forever. And it had a very distinct.
So the other end of the centipede movie.
No.
Well, the centipedes went mouth to butt, and these guys are going butt to butt.
Butt to butt, pooping back and forth forever. But this logo, so I just popped it into the comments. It looks unfortunately like a vagina, but it's actually a piece of poop going back and forth between butt cheeks forever. But anyways, so he sends her this emoji, and she apparently it triggered. She's like, "Ooh, I like that," and they meet up in this park.
Wow!
And it's this like 50-year-old woman with red hair, and this knock 2 girls 1 cup. Nothing to do with 2 girls 1 cup. And it's this little black boy who sits up next to her little curly hair, and they look at each other, and he puts his hand on her hand, looks up, shakes his head, gets up, and walks away. And that's it. That's where it ends. It's like,
wow.
What?
Wow.
What?
See, you say old internet, and I'm thinking like Badger, the Badger song.
No, okay, not that old. Early early YouTube, not early Newgrounds and E-Bombs World. Oh God.
Yeah.
Early 4chan.
So how does it feel to be like saying stuff like this and you're like, oh man, I feel old, and then you just remember that Nate's in the comments and he's even older, so it's funnier.
Well, no, but you don't know what he did, what kind of internet nonsense.
Yeah, I'd be scared to know the internet things.
No, the internet wasn't much back then. It would have been the same as us. Honey badger, not honey badger. It was badger, 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 mushroom, snake. It's a snake.
Yeah.
And then salad fingers.
Yeah. Oh, Numa.
That man. Maya. That song pops into my head all the time on my drive home when I'm really, really bored. And then the from Night at the Roxbury. I'll just be driving with because I tried really hard. If I'm not listening to a podcast or listening to us before, I have nothing going. I like to listen to the sound of my car. But in my head, I'm just like.
It's like Wayne's World made the Queen song, classical. I'm trying to remember now.
Okay.
In Wayne's World, when they do this, just shot a man.
Mama.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't mean to make you cry. Yeah, I sing that all the time. My wife gets so mad. She's like, "Shut up! You're ruining it."
Have you seen the shot for shot recreation of it? The YouTube video.
Yes.
Oh, so good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So Icarus. So Dead Cat. Icarus.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes, Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, I didn't. The name of the song wasn't what escaped me at all. I just wanted to sing it.
It did for me.
Then the difference between other than and other than, that there's no such thing as other than. It's other than. Terrible. We learned about grammar today because for some reason, when I've learned a grammar rule and I see a mistake, it like pops out in my brain and I'm like, is that right or wrong? I think it's wrong. It wouldn't pop out in my brain unless it was wrong. It's wrong. And it's definitely wrong. And then I Googled it and I was wrong. So I had to fix it.
For Callum's comment, this started on toilet paper.
Oh, yeah. So we started with bad toilet paper.
And then we have just, I don't even know how many segways we've had today. So anyways, we're near a car dealership that sells segways. And... oh, I should find you. Oh, I found a great Deadpool one. A Deadpool on a Segway.
Deadpool Segway.
No, Deadpool on a Segway. Just be like, they see me rolling and they hating, and just like him, just like going.
Oh, I don't know if I talked about this before, but I saw a guy. He had taken, those folding tables that we use for paintball.
Like a normal folding dining table.
8x3. Yeah. But he had taken the legs off of one of those, attached a pair of like pretty decent casters onto it, wheels, whatever you want to call it. And then he had rigged up almost like a 0-point lawnmower on a hoverboard. So he would sit down on it.
Yeah.
And if he would hold, so he wasn't controlling it with his butt or with his feet, he was controlling it with his arms, so he had far more control. So he'd sit on it, hold the sticks upright, push it forward to go forward. And it was the coolest thing. It was like, wow. Instead of seeing drunks on scooters or mopeds, we're going to see them on those very soon.
No, for sure.
0-point
all the
hoverboards. It's really cool. It was actually really neat. I'd love to recreate it. It was really neat. So Icarus is all about the Russian anti-doping and paintball. We're never going to see that. Hopefully, we never get to that point in paintball. But the thing that really got me was that.
Well, I think I take that back. I think we will. So I don't think we will see that in our paintball. But when you say paintball, you have to include speedballers, and I think you will, because you are seeing the gym influence on the speedball.
No, Nate, you can't join in. That's really, dude, you can't ignore. Dude, you can't do that. Sorry, brother. You can't just.
He wants to so bad.
No, that's really rude, dude. Sorry, man. It's really uncomfortable. It's really out of my ear.
What was he saying? So we're seeing the speedball. The speedball. You're seeing the gym influence on that side of the sport, and you're seeing everyone hitting the gym, and you're seeing some guys who have gone from skinny to super buff. And I know we talked about earlier, like there isn't roids in paintball, but there's guys.
You talking about Gallagher?
Roids. No, I'm talking about
like now. He is
in
a fucking tank. He's like
until he gets a cold and he can't go anymore.
Oh shush.
Oh, Amy wanted to crash the podcast. That was Amy.
Oh, that's not how it works, guys. Sorry. Really hurt my ear. Can't crash the podcast. Crush the podcast. You have to show up at one of our doors to crash the podcast properly. And even then, that's still going to be... the only person you can actually crash is... no, I guess I could hook it up so that you could see me. I could Skype call you on a second. Yeah, we'll figure it out eventually where we can get 4 people going.
Actually, the way we have had a show crashed on is the pub nights. When we were...
Yeah, well, that's what I said. You got to come over and crash in on us. I want there last week. What?
I want there?
I was there? Sorry, guys. Again, with the comments, this is derailing us. Amy's having a hard time spelling. I shouldn't think she's been drinking. She's in the East Coast where they're a couple hours ahead, so she's probably a few pints ahead of us. 3 hours? 2.5?
Not 2.5. Hour and a half. Hour and a half to an hour.
There last week.
I was there.
It was like 2 weeks ago now. Yes, I am. Yes, what?
Anyways, she is 2 pints ahead of us.
Copy that. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love the interaction, dude.
So anyways.
Icarus was a great documentary about anti-doping and how it went to the very top. And, well, how it could have gone to the very top, but...
it never would have gone
all
to the
very evidence.
No different than the recession. Like, it's never going to go to the top.
Moment. I was joking with my wife in the car, and it's like, and this is happening, right? Tinfoil hat on.
Okay,
we just finished the South Korean Olympics, and almost all of the Russian athletes got to go, but they didn't get to go under their flag. They had to go under the Olympic flag. So it's like, what, the Olympic Committee is cheating now?
A little bit.
Like, and you don't think the Russians have a hand inside of that new doping thing? And the only way they found out, the way that they could absolutely prove it was done, was there were scratches on the inside of the unopened bottles, which I thought was like sketchy as fuck. But it's something that's kind of like, well, yeah, that's the first thing I would look for if I was, testing someone's sample. Is any tampering?
Well, no, the whole thing is, this comes back down to the same things it almost always does, is an assumption of perfection, where the tool is perfect and the only way to remove it is to use a special claw device that removes it. Here's my thing.
The machine that crushes it.
Yeah, crushes the lid and destroys it. But the thing is that it locks down. So, in all honesty, if you have a strong enough magnet, I'm pretty sure you could pull it up and then just reverse it and lift it up.
So... You know how? Okay, so it actually worked on the concept of the soda. You know how the soda cap lid?
Yes.
Or not the soda cap. The soda cap. How it's got, if you look at that little ring, it's got those funny pointy Sharpie things.
Yes.
It works on the concept of that locking it in place after it's been crushed all the way down. And once it's been crushed all the way down, it locks, so it can't be untwisted back. And what the machine did was it actually pushed that silver piece up so it can be turned open. But the thing we're talking about is the AB urine samples.
Yes.
That was WADA, the World's Anti-Doping Agency, uses to test people's urine. What they do is they separate, if you haven't watched the documentary, they separate the urine samples into an A and a B. The B sample
is tested?
Yes. Let me finish.
Okay.
Just jump right in, man.
Exactly. It's what you do to me.
Well, hey, you don't fight fire with fire. That's how you get bigger fires.
Which explains a lot of the matches that we've had in paintball. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna shoot at me? I'm gonna overshoot at you, motherfucker. So the
you're
B
gonna rush to
sample's
the 50?
frozen.
I'm gonna rush to the 50
A sample is tested, and if the A sample tests positive, they bring out the B sample. And they test the frozen B sample, which is supposed to have been locked away. But what these motherfuckers managed to do was get a lab technician to pocket the B samples. And then in the other room, they literally had a hole in the wall that they could just slip the A samples into to be fixed and undone. No. There's actually the hole in the wall. During the WASADA investigation into RUSADA and into the Sochi Olympics, there was actually a hole in the wall that directly went into the next room, which had a piece of PVC piping the length of the gap of the wall. So it was...
And that was the thing, is they were under 24-hour video surveillance, and they still did it. And here's my one thing, just to pump the Canadian flag a little bit bigger. Do you know why Russia took the major risks in the Sochi Olympics?
because we kicked their ass in
Vancouver. Yes, because we kicked their asses in Vancouver. And I was just like, when they said that, like, well, Vancouver was the catalyst for this, where we just had a poor showing, and I was like, yeah, you did. Get onto your second boot. I'm on my second pint. So to bring it back down to the paintball field, so safety equipment. So actually, here's one that I do have a good one. I have a good one.
Well, here's something that bugs me, is that when I went to the last MagFed pickup league, there was always a thing to talk between certain fields. Some fields allow you to walk out to the field with your mask off, depending on if you're the only group out there. Other fields, it's as soon as you walk past the nets.
Yep.
Masks on, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yep.
The one thing that always drives me mental is people who just start shooting, who take off their barrel bag. I don't know, like the kids, the renters, what have you.
Yep.
But the kids would just take off their barrel bag and bam, 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 bam. It's like, come on, man. You know you only have 200 shots. You just wasted 20 of them.
I agree.
It's gonna be a quick game for you, kiddo.
My thing is, though, is that, and I know we do that at the MagFed Lead a lot, I hate it. While I'll kind of support it at the league, any outdoor field, it's like, no. I live and die by that mask, and my eyes do. So if you want to be uncomfortable for 2 minutes while we explain the game, but we're on the field, tough crap. Be uncomfortable for 2 minutes and wear the damn mask on the field. Now, the MagFed League is a little bit different. It's more of a private organization than it is necessarily a pickup league. But
yes,
and that is from top down, the field to organizers to players.
Well, he's smart enough to say, okay, everybody put on your barrel bags, because he knows that everybody's walked on the field, took off their barrel bag, done their little shoot up, and then come up to the little huddle and did the little huddle bit.
And finally he says, all right. I've been that person at the door watching to make sure every barrel bag is on as they come out. Like, I guess there is parts to it, and I get it. It's just
most people, as soon as they step on the field at Sergeant Splatters, it's at Paintball City, and most other fields, as soon as they step through the gates, barrel bag comes off. As soon as their mask's on, barrel bag comes off immediately. Whereas there's some fields like Georgina, we were walking up and down the fields, that barrel bag was on. Yep. There was no random shooting, just in case, because some fields there might have been a group with their masks off. Because at Georgina, all the fields were isolated. You could take your masks off, explain the games, mask back on.
Yes,
let's go.
And that can definitely be a Georgina thing. Like, I've been to the field, I understand it, but so another one though, because we were talking like safety and stuff like this. Here's an interesting twist for you. For pushing the limits of yourself without physicality but actual equipment, cleats in a woods ball field, or boots with ankle support.
No, cleats with ankle support, actually, if I'm going to be perfectly because they've got
with ankle support.
They got high ankle boots.
So you're talking like rugby cleats.
No, football and rugby cleats. I would wear those the best. I do have a pair of ankleless football cleats that I do wear. They're actually they're mostly for both green and AstroTurf. And I'll wear those if I go to Flag Raiders, running up and down those hills. And with Sega, big one at Sega. But again, ankle support. I fuck up my ankles all the time. Even this morning, coming out my door, I rolled my ankle just stepping down the steps. Still a little bit tender today. Yeah, but here's my thing: is I came from speedball. Like, that's one of those things. I've always come from the speedball world. When I got back into paintball, so I was using cleats, soccer cleats. I actually left them at a friend's house when we were going to the paintball field. So I get to the paintball field and I'm wearing sandals, and that's all I have. So I walk in and I'm like, so what footwear do you have for sale at this fine establishment, so I don't have to drive a half hour back to the house to go back? $200 later.
Oh no, we have original SWATs, 40% off. Fuck yeah, we do.
$150 then.
Yeah, whatever. But that's the thing, is that like after switching to those, my cleats, I actually haven't worn them in 2 years, because the ankle support on a boot is better for me as an old soccer player like you, ankle injuries. And I have, like, my knees or my next thing that are going to probably go, but my ankles, like, if I mess them up, I could be out for a week. That it's like, wear the boots and do the support. So I was just curious, because, like, at Sector, there's good forested, like, woody, they don't keep the forest clean at all, so you can get, like, you
twisty, steppy, rolly ankles all the time. Twisty, steppy, rolly ankles.
Oh, there's a classic video from PRZ, the guy who's got the cleats and he can't stop in the rain. And there's a pole in the middle, and he divided his body and that pole in half.
this one ties back to our jock one and how they don't always work. There's a classic video of Alabaster Slim. It's on his Slim, whatever they were called, Slim Monuts or Slim Bites or Alabaster Slim Seconds.
Fence. Oh my god, the fence.
No, not the fence.
I know, but just in general, the fence in him.
It was from Canadian Carnage 1. He's walking across a log, slips, whams his jock, but he's wearing OG SWATs, but they were kind of old and they were meant for here's one thing though, that it doesn't matter if you're running on when you're running on concrete. If you're wearing OG SWATs or if you're wearing cleats, if you hit a good spot of paint and it slipped, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, you're falling on your ass.
If it's rocky and it's moss or wet, it won't do anything. It's like the joke, like 4-wheel drive doesn't work at 80 kilometers an hour. Like,
yes, it does. 80 kilometers an hour on a dirt track, turning.
No, I mean like ice. Like I meant like Canadian winter ice snowstorms. Oh. 80 kilometers an hour, 4-wheel drive does not protect you. Yes, vague statement. Anyways, I like how when we actually started talking about paintball and safety, we dropped to 4 live viewers, but that's beside the point.
Don't worry about that, man.
I know we're not.
That never makes any sense.
But yeah, so footwear is important. Gloves. Here. Okay. As we kind of go through, because I'm interested to always get that comparison. Knuckle protectors or the general padding on the
knuckle protectors. The good, but you got to get the good ones. You can't get those shitty fake Oakleys with the plastic that cracks the first time you. Here's the test: get your glove. If it's got those knuckle protectors, squeeze it. If it turns white, it's just plastic or really thin resin and a fake carbon fiber on the inside. If it doesn't turn white and it flexes in and it doesn't flex back, like it flexes in and flex back almost, it's really hard for you to do that with, and there's no discoloration, it's probably good carbon fiber. Yeah. Which I actually have a really, nobody cares about safety. Everybody cares about safety. Safety first.
Safety man cares about safety.
Okay. There's a guy at work that we call Mr. Safety. He's Netflix's safety representative. And he's 6 foot. I can't be too specific. He's a big fucking. He's a Viking.
He's a large man. He has an intimidating posture.
I shook his hand once, and his hand is like, he has bananas for fingers. Like people think of Tony Robbins. He's got like, he just palms that guy's hand. What movie was that when Tony Robbins palms a guy's hand and his whole life changes? Somebody will pop up in the comments with that. Anyways, that's this guy's hands. They're like 2 of my hands to just hold his hand. Massive man. Phenomenal. But yeah, Mr. Safety. Shout out to Mr. Safety. He's actually a pretty cool guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me. Mr. Hart.
No one cares about safety, but everyone's interested in about safety.
Mm-hmm. Old MMA boxing gloves. See, that would be nice for getting shot in the hand.
That would be. I kind of like want to look up that image for that really quick, just because I'm like, that would be interesting.
4 grams, 4-ounce gloves. Oh, so total segue. Well, you're looking that up. There was a talk. Floyd Mayweather is going to start. He's been offered like $500 million to fight in the UFC, and he's going to get a fight. So he's going to go from being able to fight with big fucking 10-ounce gloves to little 4-ounce gloves. He's going to fucking.
Matt Daniels, just like on your comment there, is like, how do you find those versus other ones? Because I'm looking at them and I'm like, that's interesting.
Oh, he's a bigger guy. He's Matt Daniels is he's a nice hefty guy. So those would be nice sized on him. No offense, but you have
Matt comments on our videos quite often. I have a host of a podcast show to fan that I can appreciate this.
Matthew Daniels. Hey, hold on. I used to role play on lunches with Matthew Daniels in grade 10. Well, he was in grade 12. He was our dungeon master.
Listen, just
playing
because you're
an
old
old role-playing game called Shut Your Face. He used to be the dungeon master, so to speak. Okay. Well, it was called a storyteller. Vampire the Masquerade. It's horrible when it became Redemption, and then the video games came out. And anyways, shout out to an old friend and how we started role playing. Woo. Got us.
Well,
hey,
Matt,
so funny.
Actually,
wait, it's actually funny. No, hold on. Let me finish.
Wait, no, it's
just funny how my life's come from full circle because he was a drama geek and I was a drama geek and we did improv class together, and now I work in film. It's funny.
So the one thing is with Matt Daniels in the comment, because he was the one who's mentioned about like the V3 patches, is bam, all that love right there.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Those are beautiful. Which also draws back to work. One of my recent coworkers was one of the associates at we got a picture sent to us by Mr. Matthew Daniels. which you can check because you're the one who can show it to people if it's anything interesting. I can't see.
All right,
shit, where was I? Oh yeah, and our drama teacher's name was Mr. Dyke. Mr. Dyke had a nervous breakdown and quit shortly after we worked. Well, no, because you got to remember, man, he was a really cool, chill teacher, where but he would let you do whatever, say whatever, and he wouldn't put up with your shit. Like if people started playing that pronoun game at school, which we didn't have back then, but some people was starting, he would just be like, no, it's not how it works. But yeah, he had trouble dealing with his students, and they drove him to near insanity, and he ended up taking 5 years off before going back. And I actually ran into him randomly. It was a funny story. We ran into him randomly at a movie theater while he was waiting for a bus. He can't drive anymore because the nervous breakdown fucked him up so badly from teaching. Just a random story of a great person that fell far. Oh, Icarus. Fun fact. Bring it all back. Thanks, Mr. Daniels. You brought back old memories.
So Matt sent us pictures of those gloves, so I'm gonna bring them up here in just a second. But yeah, it's I don't really have a segue for that comment, but I think it's fun though when you get people from your everyday into paintball, just because it's something that for me and you especially, we're so passionate about it.
Oh yeah.
Do you know why we do this podcast bi-weekly?
Passionate's a fucking a soft word.
I know.
Are you kidding me, man? I would do this podcast every day.
No, that's what I mean. Me and you do this podcast because we just like to talk about paintball. Everyone's like, oh, you should do this topic and this topic and this thing, and I'm like, me and Nero just jump on and we start talking because we enjoy each other's company and we love paintball and we just rant, and there's always alcohol involved, and pretty much that sounds like any friendship that I've ever known as an adult is you get together, drink alcohol, and rant, and we talk about thematically paintball.
Yeah, and conservative viewpoints that get us labeled as right wing and guns and.
When?
You never? Oh man, we'll have to talk about that.
Okay, well this will be an offline discussion. All right, I'm just gonna bring up these pictures if you want to go on a segue.
I'll be 1 minute. No, you do a segue while you're looking at those pictures. I will be right back to urinate.
All right. So Matt sent us a picture.
Speaking of Icarus, you can talk about that for a bit while you're looking shit up. Talk about Icarus.
No, I'm gonna talk about Matt's gloves because he's gone. He can't hear me. So Matt sent us a picture of the two gloves that he uses, and I they are quite good. So here we go. Second here. Comments. Actually, on Matt's comment is I work in a call center environment, and I actually have a coworker who, when he needs to get my attention, will put his hand out in about my peripheral view, so he just I just can't see it, and he has said that within 5 seconds of him doing that, I always respond back to him. So on Matt's comment, yes, my friends are sick and tired of me at work talking about paintball as well, but that led to more interesting things. So
we'll throw a patch.
You have to say it again. I had muted you while you're getting back.
Oh, I said hi, Mr. Unicorn. I forgot what the unicorn's name was. Anybody who can tell me what the unicorn's name was gets a patch.
All right, so Matt has his gloves here. So
maybe. We'll see. I'm not going to prompt anything.
So I know you're going to see this in a second, Nero, but
sorry.
The palm is quite nice. I can actually really appreciate that.
I know, I've worn them before.
Okay, so you know which ones they are. There's Century ones here, so they're going to come up in a second. But yeah, so the palm's quite nice. The glove front on them, I appreciate these. I think that's actually really good for you, Matt. I don't think I could wear them. I think not small hands, not big hands, medium hands. It's the story of my life in 5'10". Is just that they. They are nice. My favorite was my Northside gloves.
You're not 5. You're smaller than me, and I'm 5'9.5".
We're the same size.
No, you're smaller than me.
No, we're the same size. We are pretty much the same height. I just have a lot more belly on you.
That's true. You know what, though, is... I won't talk about it. So, back to Icarus. Buddy's legs. Did you see Buddy's legs?
Oh, the needles and the bruising?
No. I was talking about the musculature in his legs. He had zero fat. The fucking veins were just it looks like you ever seen a really good porno and a really throbby, really veiny penis? That's what Buddy's legs look like. Just thick in every line, every muscle line in his leg.
I need to have a 5-second delay to mute you sometimes.
What do you think we are? Fucking live radio? This is a podcast.
We are live radio. We're on Facebook right now. Demonetized. Hey man, we're getting close to that 500 likes. We need to stay
as soon as I drank
above the line.
As As soon as we drink, we lose that monetization ability. So, drink up.
Yeah, monetization. That's funny. What is our support? Is you guys messaging us saying we're doing a good job. What does this podcast cost us? A 6 or not even a 6-pack, like a 4-pack a weekend and bi-weekly, and
dude,
SoundCloud
I got a pre-drink.
Account.
It's like $8 or $8, 8 beers, like 16, $20.
Really, I come in sober. That's why you can always tell at that half-hour mark when Phoenix has been drinking a lot is like when like the half-hour mark kicks in.
Phoenix.
And then
when Nero talks about himself in the third person, he's so much cooler. He's like Madonna or Cher.
See, it's funny because I can mute him, and then he just goes on rants, and he doesn't even realize that he's muted until I start talking.
It was actually good. It was a good point.
I know it was.
Asshole.
So you're back.
No, fuck you. It's not cool, man. You can't play fucking.
I know. I'm just having fun with it right now.
No. Which is another thing. Demonetization is a form of censorship. You can mute me all you want, but it really is. Telling somebody, if you do this, we're taking the ad revenue away from you, but we'll keep the ad revenue for ourselves.
Yes.
That's censorship. That's a form of censorship. Do this, but lose your money. No, it's censorship. Do this, lose your money. Don't do it. So if you do it, you're in the bad. You're in the wrong.
There's still a part of it, though, is that advertisement in general is people giving you money. And the way internet works... What? I can't hear you, but you're not muted. Your mic's kicked out somehow. Because I'm not even picking you up on Skype. 1 second. Yeah, you're just not getting picked up. Did you unplug something? So Nero's having technical difficulties here. Always fun. But actually, I wait for him to come back because he can't even hear me. All right, 1 second here, guys. We will be right back. We're going to use our new technical difficulties. We'll be right back after these staring messages. All right, and welcome back after technical difficulties. I'm glad I made that graphic.
Yeah, see, I told you. I foresee the future. I knew we were gonna need it, and you fucking stop fucking muting me and shit. Censorship pisses me off.
I didn't
more
mute
than
you.
Anything. It's right up there with fucking.
Actually, I think what it was my mic. No, I think I muted the mic effed up because I couldn't hear anything, and then I even pulled up a video and I couldn't hear anything, and I unplugged it, plugged it back in. You called me back. We can hear each other. Censorship with ad. The only thing I'll say on that is technically
it was fucking. There's another one of those little serendipitous moments. We just happened to make that thing. You just happened to be fucking around with. We just happened to be talking about censorship. You just happened to be fucking around with muting me, and snowball effect. Your fucking mic cut out and I couldn't hear you anymore, and we had to use the graphic.
Oh, you could. Oh, actually, that would make more sense then. Because you couldn't hear me and the mic did cut out and I couldn't hear anyone. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, so the only thing with that is that advertisement of like anything, so like TV advertisement or other stuff, is people giving you money to say something. So if, and this is the whole
mental.
But the other thing too is that like if we had a sponsor directly on the show, if we had somebody
we have well technically now we have Widowmaker or Patch Panel.
Patch Panel has a partnership with us.
No, we have a sponsorship. We don't talk about that shit on there.
But yeah, so
do have a sponsorship through Patch Panel, and which is why you guys get that lovely discount. So remember to use it. TTP at checkout at patchpanel.ca. Which you cut me off on another thing, back to work and back to your goddamn fucking purity seals. I had a coworker who worked for Hero Paintball, which is somewhere that both of us frequented for a long time, right?
I hate Hero. I never went there.
Really? Oh, you went there well, then how do you hate it if you've never gone there?
I was there a couple times to look at stuff, and I heard some horror stories of friends dealing with some store policy issues. Yeah. So I have just decided not to purchase from there.
So those guys are now gone. I work with a guy who worked there during those times. His name I won't repeat. I just call him G-Ram.
So, but
let me finish. Let me finish. A bunch of people got fired. A bunch of managers and shit got fired because sales started to go down because the popularity started to go down. So, under new management, the owners got rid of the people who sucked and started implementing stupid shit when it came to their ordering and their buying stuff. This guy, a coworker of mine, happened to bring up the purity seal, and was saying, "Oh, he hated how he couldn't get another one because he missed out on it." Blah blah blah. And I mentioned that to Mr. Evan. Mm-hmm. And then I told him who it was and told him what happened and told him where it worked for. And then like 3 days later, I don't know if this was planned or this just happened to be serendipitous. And he was like, "Who's been telling you?" But then the version 3 dropped like right after that all happened.
Okay.
The Matrix, man. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything. It's always fucking weird. It's like one of those ones is like I don't have any of this homework done. And it's like, oh, we're going to push the assignment.
Matrix ruined the way I see everything.
Yeah. Which I don't. Yeah. No. Actually, I think Evan said this is the first year that he's or 2017 was the first year he got a death threat that a limited edition patch was sold out before someone could buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know how serious it was, but that was a post, and I was like, wow. What was
I didn't see that. So, okay, so
there was one that
there was
one they just did though that I sold out and I missed it. Go ahead.
No, I deleted Facebook. I've removed Facebook from my phone. I now check it on Sundays right before the podcast. I do a full burp away from the microphone. I do a full sweep of as many of the pages that I'm on Sunday afternoon during the day. So I'm kind of caught up on as much as I can, but I really don't care that much anymore. Facebook's kind of dead to me after I found out about that.
The leak?
Cambridge Analytical, leaking, man. Just a shady practice, and we all knew about it. Everybody knew that Facebook was mining our data for years. We knew it. They've been telling us. People have been telling us and warning us since like 2010. 5 years in. Hey, be careful what you put on Facebook. It's for anybody to see.
Well, even me and you, so I've been looking at helping bringing the show outside of us talking when we do now, and like other recordings and things like that. And I logged into Facebook to get the live show ready, and Facebook hit me with an Amazon ad for a dead cat, which is the cover for the microphone.
Yep.
Which helps out with the wind and stuff like that, which we had the vlogging conversation earlier for. But it hit me with that, and I haven't really looked, not hard, but it was very interesting that my trending stuff definitely started to use it. Dwayne's comment was he uses Facebook for
I do the same
paintball events and podcast. Agreed. I use it for the events. The problem is though, is that
but I check it on a weekly basis now. I even got rid of the messenger. If you want me, text me. If you don't have my number, if you don't have my number and you have a way of reaching out to me, and we are on a friendly basis, that's how you get it. If you don't have a hold of me, don't text me.
But it's the other thing too is that the even the groups MegFed groups are
Oh,
like, this
man,
is the same
it's
conversation
become-
over
it's
and
become-
over.
We talk about it.
Hey,
The next thing we got to do is we got to read a book. We're gonna do Talking Tactical Book Club, because I got a book we got to read, and it's gonna be great because you have lots of downtime on your train rides, and I have lots of downtime on my set time.
train life, yay!
Yay!
Go
Works.
train life.
Hashtag set life. Fuck! I saw this on one of my wife's birthday. Had a great time. One of her coworkers dropped this thing on me, and I don't get it. I guess that means hashtag, but like she did it.
I was
3
about to
times,
ask that.
and
Was this like a hashtag something?
What's the real name for a hashtag?
Pound symbol,
No.
number,
No.
tic tac.
Come on, someone in the comment. No, tic-tac-toe. Noughts and crosses if you're a British crowd or Australian. Noughts and crosses.
Like, what was the original like meaning of it?
What's the name? What is the name of the pound symbol? Somebody.
Number.
Oh, so there's okay. So this is totally.
Is this a Google question, or are you gonna actually reveal it to me?
I don't know. I can't remember. But I'm gonna. That just goes full circle while you do that. Unnatural laws of the world. Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will. O'Toole's commentary of Murphy's Law. Murphy was an optimist. The unspeakable law. As soon as it's mentioned, as soon as you mention something, if it's good, it goes away. If it's bad, it happens. Howe's Law. Every man has a scheme that will not work. O'Tort's observation. The other line always moves faster. Gordon's first law. If a research project is not worth doing at all, it's not worth doing well. So a lot of people scum up those. Boren's law. When in doubt, mumble through it. The golden rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules, obviously. Barth's God, I hate this word. Barth's distinction. There are 2 types of people: those who divide people into 2 types, and those who don't. And then very last, the Good Samaritan's reality: no good deed goes unpunished. There's another one that I just popped into my head, but I can't remember it now. God damn it.
Are you talking about like? So I had to Google this, and even the Google answers are weird. Is what's the hashtag symbol? And it's like the number sign or the pound sign. But the technical term is an octothorpe.
Yes, octothorpe.
And it's octo in reference to the 8 points in the figure, and thorpe, OED says crypto surname Thorpe. So it's not quite there.
It's
but
like ampersand.
Yeah.
It's a Latin name.
Try and describe to someone what a hashtag is without like them understanding what a hashtag is. So there was a video recently I found on YouTube that somebody do that. They're like the pound sign. They're like, what's the pound sign? They're like tic-tac-toe, but without the letters, and like 2 lines going up and 2 lines going across, and it was just like.
Oh, okay. So, that's really funny. That brings me back to I love.
And Dwayne just commented it's the octothorpe after I read that, and I saw that now.
That's so funny.
Thanks, Dwayne, buddy. You win internet points, like 5,000 internet points to you.
No.
It's internet points.
He does not win the internet.
It's internet points.
Hey! This is not whose line it is, anyways. The points matter. All right. Anyways.
Well, you won this round. I have to go to the washroom. So.
Oh, no. Where are we going? So I can have a segue. I had something there, and then I lost it.
Octothorpe. Describing something that people don't understand.
Oh, perfect. Okay, got that. Okay, so you go pee, and I'll describe.
I'm just gonna wait to hear where this conversation goes, and then I understand where I'm coming back to.
Okay, it's about your job, and a job that I used to do, and a way a manager taught me how to do my job very well.
All right, I'm bored. I'm going away now.
Fantastic. So I used to work in tech support, and my mom actually worked in tech support for TSN and Rogers, and eventually Bank of Montreal, in the higher end, like whatever. But during her job interview, and something that she taught me way back when I was a kid was, during her job interview, they would always sit people down and say, "Teach me how to tie a shoe." And break it down as simply as possible. Pretend I'm an alien. I don't know what any part of a shoe is. I don't know what a sole is. I don't know what laces are. I don't know what a tongue is. And if you are general, a tongue could be the thing in my mouth. Laces could be a lace dress. Who knows? So you had to be really, really literal and really technical with everything you say. It had to be very poignant. But I'll take a patch instead. Ha 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 ha. Eventually, we are going to do a trivia day, but unfortunately, trivia days aren't really suck over the internet because you guys can cheat and use Google. So we can't. It would have to be a. I don't know. I don't know how we could do it. We can't cheat. So, anyways, tie your shoes. Teach me how to tie my shoes properly. You know, loop, swoop, pull, bunny rabbit, dance around the hole. I can't remember. Fox chases the weasel. However, your parents taught you how to tie your shoes, but you had to break down tying your shoes into the simplest terms possible during your job interview. And if you couldn't break, I know, perfect timing, he comes back. And if you couldn't break down how to tie your shoes in a simple way, how can you tell somebody how can you walk somebody through technical support on a computer screen? So it was a really neat old school way of doing stuff, because once upon a time they didn't have computer screens to do it. And if they had to rewire something, you got to tell people, you know, you got to grab the orange wire that has a red, white, a red, red, a red, black, whatever kind of cable to it. But it was a neat little thing. And my mom taught me that. So whenever I try to explain things to people over the phone, I try to be as literal as possible and as straightforward. So if you ever do that in a job interview for tech support, think about that. How do you tie your shoe? Go ahead, Tyler. I almost called you James. James Colette's not the comments for a change.
No, we've lost a lot of people just with the hour and everything else like that.
Of course.
Which I think we're gonna call it soon because we're at an hour and 11.
So safety, fair play. Always play safe. Keep your stick on the ice.
Join us bi-weekly on 8:30 for random segue conversations, because that always seems to happen, which are always the best shows.
8:30 or 9:30?
8:30 EST.
Oh, Eastern Standard Time.
Well, sorry. Let's rephrase that. 8:30 EST if you want to enjoy the show from the beginning. 8:45 by the time we've had 5 segues. Don't really know what the show was going to be, but now we've got an idea of where we've started the conversation. So
I like the 9 o'clock rule.
The 9 o'clock rule. That one works too.
Anyways.
All right. So, Nero, where can people find you?
Instagram, Mr. Nero Wulf. Xbox Live. I started playing Far Cry 5. That's been fun. Murdering American hillbillies and Christian fundamentalists, which is terrible because my grandmother is a really, really Bible-thumping Baptist Christian. And I've heard her scream half the shit that those characters in the game scream, and it's like, Grandma, I'm sorry. Ka, 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 ka. I'm sorry, Grandpa Sam. Pa, 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 pa. So really, it's scary. It's sad. It's depressing. I have a lot of American friends or family members, and none of my family members are from Montana. So
okay. You hitting the paintball field anytime soon?
I was gonna go to DEF CON this weekend, but I went away. I don't want to talk about it. And then no, not that I know of. There was a pump challenge. Oh, segue. We forgot to talk about it. The MagFed pickup league is changing venues.
Yes.
And
you were saying it as I said it.
You ever heard of like? No, I didn't say it. I just said they were changing venues, and then you just bust the nut all over my face. You don't even let me get a chance to say I'm going to come. No, I never do that. I always let you finish your story. I don't jump to the punchline. It's a terrible way of letting people tell jokes. If you can make a montage of all the times I don't let him get to a punchline, I would love to see that. Don't pull that fucking old internet meme. Ass fuck. I'm an old internet kid. I cracked open another beer that I wanted to talk about, but damn it. All right. Good night, guys. Mr. Nero Wulf X, Nero Wulf X on the Xbox Live, because there's never too many X's, and I totally fell into that game before I even knew that was a thing. And the Wolf thing, I don't know. I've always had that gamer tag since as long as I had the name, which came from where did it come from?
Where did
online chat boards? I met someone. Somebody gave me the name on an online chat board because of the way I talked. I can't remember, and then I ended up changing my handle, and it stuck. And then somebody.
I feel like there should be a show topic though. Is where do nicknames come from?
Nicknames come from stupid shit you do that become a habit and then become something that's a defining characteristic of your nature, not your demeanor, not the way you project yourself, the way you pretend to be. Nobody likes to make fun of you for that. People like to make fun of when you let your nature slip outside of your demeanor. There's a difference between nature and demeanor. And Matthew Daniels will understand what I'm talking about.
All right. Like I said, still might be another show. All right, guys. Watching. So you can find Talking Tactical on YouTube, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search Talking Tactical or Talking Tactical Podcast.
Because ours is free on Google Play.
Yes. The other one too is that if you want to send us anything or
hashtag
it or social media.
Bag of Chips on Instagram? Is that who he is?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
But it's true. That's what they mean, man.
So use the hashtag TT Podcast. We are following it on most social media, so we will be able to see your posts. As always, thank you for watching. We air bi-weekly on Sundays at 8:30 EST. As well, use the patch panel code TTP for 15% off your purchase there. Thank you guys very much for checking us out. Remember, train the way you play and
play the way you train.
And we will see you on the field later.
Wow, that wasn't rehearsed or anything.